In this moment, I want to say thank you, of course, Dr. Yetunde and Dr. Veronica Yarnick, and of course, especially of for you, Professor Emmanuel Komi Konako. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Professor Felipe, for your introduction. Where today it is a great pleasure for us to welcome everybody, to welcome Dr. Yetunde from Nigeria. We met for the first time in 1990 at Sudan. Until now, we are together, we work together. And today it will be a very great pleasure for us to hear from her. She will share many things with us. And we have a great joy to welcome again our co-leader, Dr. Veronica Yarnick from Russia. So, even though we are not many, the main idea is intact, is new, and will grow with a little number of people we are here together to share. So, Professor Felipe, I will give you the floor if you have something to share with us before we begin. You are welcome.
Thank you so much, dear Professor Emmanuel Komi Konako. Thank you so much again, Professor Dr. Yetunde. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Veronica Yarnick. It is my pleasure to be here in this important moment because we work together in different lines of the project Milcities from UNESCO. This project is very promising and very important too, because this project have many research lines and many actions lines too. This framework, UNESCO Milcities or UNESCO Mil Alliance Cities from UNESCO, is a future, in my opinion, is a future of the framework of a framework MIL or framework media and information literacy. Milcities is an innovation inside of MILE. Yeah, in this moment we are in the beginning of the new era, in new moment, in new phase. In my opinion, this moment is very important, of course, because this moment is the moment to meet phase 5 aging of innovation at the cities. Policymakers in the first, policymakers, of course, educators and students, of course, too, artists. Artists are very important in this framework. Of course, very important. Other enterprise, digital platforms, and finally, the simple citizens. The simple citizen is the fundamental things is the center of the framework Milcities, because the citizen is the cause of our research, our efforts, and our transformation. And in this moment, we can do this with more force. We got force, for example, in UN, in the UNESCO, in the Quarter General of UNESCO, and resolutions, many resolutions and declarations from UNESCO and from UN. That is the moment, my friends, and we got many opportunities and many challenges too at this moment. But my words are only introduction or beginning words. In my opinion, it's very important the here of our colleagues, our dear Professor Yetunde and our dear Professor Veronica. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Felipe, for your introduction word. We are very glad to hear you, and we are here together to build, to transform, and to push the world, the whole world, to know that Mile City is very important for us today to develop not only our countries, not only our society, but to transform all the world culture. So we are here to share. We are here to hear. We are here to support each other and share projects.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here. And like Emmanuel has said, I am Yetunde Ayobolu from Nigeria. I'm a lecturer at the Department of Mass Communication in one of the private universities in Nigeria. And I've been involved with media and information literacy for quite a while now. I've attended a lot of conferences, I've delivered papers, I've written papers, and I've tried to introduce a lot of my students and colleagues to a lot of works on media and information literacy. And I'm also glad, because this year, 2022, Nigeria hosted, the annual yearly Media and Information Literacy Week in October. We were the host, and it was a very good outing. And based on that, I think I have enough grounds to talk about Milcities, especially as regards student mobilization here in Nigeria. Professor Felipe has helped us at the beginning with media literacy and what Milcities are and all of that, and I'm glad about that. It provides an opportunity for citizens to be able to know how to use the media, for their development, for their sustenance, and how to create cities where we can also use information, especially through a lot of digital tools. And our students who are youth, are also part of the citizenry of any community, any nation, any city. And they also need to be educated, especially because there are many. And they also need information about how to use the media, and how to use the digital tools, how they can use it to enhance their own self-development, their sustenance. And particularly in the universities, we want to, develop them into critical thinkers and problem solvers. And they can do this really if they have a good idea of media and information literacy, if they have a good idea of what Milcities are and how they can access a lot of resources that can actually help them to develop into better adults. In my years of being in media and information literacy, I've seen that there has been some conferences organized by some NGOs to train teachers for curriculum development, to set up some clubs in some universities, especially at secondary.
Okay.
But I do not see that it is enough. Trying to start the club in some of this. I go on? Emmanuel, can you hear me? Can I go on?
Now, it is
okay.
Now.
Okay, so I have tried in the past, to contact some people to actually ask for assistance and help so that we can spread the word, across different secondary schools, but I've not been able to get anything. So when I was contacted for this, I was quite happy, so that perhaps through this opportunity, we can actually make it a project of 2023 and then take, information and, knowledge about media and information literacy to secondary schools and universities as well. And so I made some recommendations in my slides, about how we can actually get to do this in Nigeria, because in the past, a lot of youth movement, youth mobilization, student mobilization have been able to generate noise, positive noise about some certain concepts. They've been able to create change. For instance, last year we had the End SARS, where a lot of young people took to the streets. They were mobilized through the social media, and then they took to the streets to talk about, the inhumane treatment of the police. And then they were heard. The government was able to do something. It was even, global. It went global. So I thought, perhaps if we could do some of these things, if we could mobilize students, especially at the secondary schools, the universities, and all of that, they will get, more information. And how can we do this? I would suggest that perhaps we start meal clubs in all of our secondary schools and universities. If we can get collaboration, partnership, and sponsorship, we can get meal clubs. We have a lot of clubs existing already. There's the Red Cross, the Girls Guide, the Boys Brigade, and all of that. So if we have press clubs. If we can introduce the Media and Information Literacy Club, it will help us to build the Milcities here. Also, we can also, do a lot of trainings for teachers to get the teachers and lecturers, the professors also involved. And if we get them involved, they'll be able to help and provide some form of leadership for the students, so that, while they can be more interested and then they can be more involved, because the participatory process makes a success of any concept. By the time the students themselves know they have enough knowledge about these concepts, and then they can be, if they are motivated to participate, it will drive them, to get more interested and then to spread the word, and then it will help more people to be involved. And also, if we can also push some advocacy to the government, perhaps, for instance, because across from the primary to the secondary school here, and even to the universities where they have some general studies, there's a particular subject being taught called civic education. If we can push some advocacy for the government to include media and information literacy curriculum into the civic education, it will be best. We don't even need to start a separate curriculum about media and information literacy. We should just inculcate it into what's already existing. If you can train the teachers, to include it in their curriculum, and then the children start getting information from primary school, secondary school, from the university, it will go a long way. And then if we can push for a lot of social media engagement, we can drive some competitions from essays, poems, drama, skits, comedies on TikTok and all that, and then give incentives and all that. It will help them to also spread the word. They can even write music. If we can also get some musicians, artists involved, where we can get some music, written, some poems, rap songs, and all of that, activities that can get the youth involved, in all of this. I believe that, we'll be able to mobilize all over the country. I have, a desire to make this a project for my 2023. If I get some collaboration, some partnership and support, I've been able to mobilize some of my students, some of my colleagues and all of that. And I believe, I want to put out a proposal in January, so that we can, I can really express our intentions. And then perhaps if we get collaboration and get some partnership, we can actually move this. I hope I've been able to, say one or two things, that is, quite beneficiary and can, describe, what we have existing on ground here in Nigeria and how we can, push this forward. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Yetunde, for your presentation. It is very important for us to hear you. You have shared with us many kind of idea, projects. First of all, you have highlighted the importance of Milcities in your country, in your city, in your university, and especially in secondary school. You have highlighted that to succeed this project in your country or in the whole world, we need to partner with a second school, to create clubs in second school, and also to train teachers in the school, at the university, in second school. Let them participate in many activities to interest people. You have also suggest to advocacy government institution include Milcities or Mile curriculum in the training, also in second school or at the university, and to multiply activities that can mobilize youth. So it is very, very important for us to hear this kind of key project we can mobilize to develop Milcities in our cities, in our countries, in the whole world. And we thank you for your presentation. So I will let Professor Felipe comment.
Thank you so much. Dear Professor Emmanuel Comey, I would like to say thank you again, and would like to say some words about the presentation of the Professor Dr. Yetunde. I like so much your coincidence with our ideas. I like so much your vision about the young people and the critical thinking, the importance of critical thinking. This line is very important, of course, and we need the participation of the young in this agenda, in these plans, because the young is the future. The young are the present and the future, of course, and we need, like Professor Emmanuel Comey Conaco said, we need key projects. We need key projects for different countries, with respect of the diversities and the culture of each country. For example, Kenya have a different culture. Nigeria have other culture. Russia have another culture, and Latin America, for example, Brazil. I live in Brazil. Need a key program, but with respect of the diversities, of the respect of the identity of Brazil, of Nigeria, of Malawi, for example, of Russia, of other countries. This point is very, very interesting. We work with a category. The title of this category is Cultural Barriers to Communication. We have many barriers to communication. The barriers in the communication are the center or the cause of the many problems, the wars, War II, and many conflicts around the world. And we need a study the cultural barriers to communication in the sense too difficult the construction or the transformation the cities in mild cities or in media and information literacy cities, especially in the point referent to the students, to the young people. Thank you so much, Professor Yetunde. It's a real pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Felipe, for your commentary. It is very interesting to hear you. You focus every time on the main key word or project target we need to hold, we need to build together. So tomorrow we can change the whole world in mild cities. City for everybody, city for many kind of people. So now we are going to hear from Dr. Veronica Yarnick from Russia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Komi. It's absolutely adequate to say Professor or Dr. Veronica. All my students in Europe and in Central Asia. So it's more simple to use. Thank you so much for the following. And so I would like to say two things. The first thing, first of all, I would like to thank Professor Yetunde for her sharing of the Nigeria experience. And your speech about opportunities, of course, about the problems also, but about opportunities. It's very interesting and potential for development of the idea of media and information literate cities. And the second thing which I would like to mention or to highlight, I would like to to say about the intercultural barriers. So Professor Felipe told about intercultural barriers, and of course it's very important thing, and of course it's very important theme for researching, for discussing, for finding maybe some decisions or something else. But I would like to highlight the following idea, that media and information literate cities is practically comfortable urban media, media urban space for the citizens. And in this concept and from this point of view, we can say that it's a good opportunity to overcome the intercultural barriers. In this single information and communication space, we can speak and we can discuss the media and information literacy, and of course the media and information literate cities as the opportunity for communication inside the or within the urban media space, and as an opportunity to overcome the intercultural barriers, because of course now we can say and we know that within the every communication space we have barriers and we have opportunities. So in this concept we can also speak about the single, comfortable and safe urban media space. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Dr. Veronica Yarnick. I will overcome. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, so you have highlight many key points, especially we need to develop a urban media space to overcome intercultural barrier to build a new world. Very important. Very, very important to know that today we have barriers, we have intercultural barriers in our countries, in our cities, and only media can help us to overcome, to go beyond our difference, to build a world where everybody can have his role in the society. Thank you very much for this contribution. Dr. Yetunde, I don't know if you have any commentary to Dr. Yarnick Veronica. You have the floor.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you. I would like to say thank you to Dr. Veronica for our presentation. That was good. I want to thank you so much for identifying the opportunities and then the barriers, the communication barriers, especially mentioning intercultural barriers. For instance, in Nigeria, I'm sure it's popular. Everybody knows that we have over 250 languages. We have a lot of culture. We have a lot of culture here. Our cultures are different, although we look alike. And all of that. And I would, it's an opportunity, and at the same time, it's a huge barrier sometimes, to getting messages and ideologies across and all of that. But because we have integrated the use of English language, as a common language, and then we have introduced it at a very, young age, to most of our students. So it's very easy sometimes to pass messages across to ourselves, in English language. But at the same time, we find ourselves now, with the involvement of the government, trying to push for, indigenous languages, trying to push that some information, some concepts also be, developed in indigenous languages so as to, make it available, onto others. And that's why most of the time you see, one of the developments here, for instance, in Nigeria, is that you see a lot of skit makers, a lot of comedy, a lot of drama, a lot of imagery, posters, and all of that come in English language and then in different indigenous language, so as to get the information across to, almost everyone. And aside from that, we encourage ourselves to learn some of the other languages of, the other regions. And then we also like to, introduce a lot of other concepts into songs, and all of that, so that at least you can pick up a song and then you can, ask questions and all of that. And then, through that, you can also, get to understand, the concept and all of that. We are intercultural. We have our own cultures, we have our own idiosyncrasies, what is peculiar to one culture or the other. But we try as much as possible to understand, develop concepts, especially through social media, that could help us to understand the different concepts, understand the values of different cultures, and how we can interrelate even within our indigenous culture. So thank you so much, Dr. Veronica, for your delivery. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Yetunde, for this contribution. It is very accurate. So we need exactly to develop a concept, to build a new bridge between those who speak in French or in English, in every language, so we can share our idea, our culture, our knowledge, so we can build a new world where everybody can say, it is my world, it is my country, it is my city, it is my university, so I can contribute to develop together. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So we have Professor Moumouni-Agboké here. I don't know if he wants to share something with us. Professor Moumouni-Agboké from Togo, are you online?
Yes, I'm online.
Yeah, oh, thank you. You are welcome. Do you have something to share together with us today? We need to hear from you.
Okay, I follow you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. He has said that he is following us, so I don't know if he has something to share with us. I can return to Professor Felipe. Do you have something to share together with us?
Yes, I would like to share some highlights about the presentation of the Professor Dr. Veronica Yarnick and the Professor Dr. Yetunde. In my opinion, it's very important in this moment to share this vision, our together vision. In my opinion, it's very important in this moment, in this year 2023 or the next year 2023.
Yes.
To deep in the knowledge about UNESCO curriculum UNESCO, like Professor Yetunde said. We have opportunities and challenges, but I would like to ask, what are the opportunities and challenges of UNESCO Milcities framework? In my opinion, the answer of this at this question is one, incorporate artificial intelligence in the mile and mile city focus studies. Very important. Artificial intelligence is a tool, a very strong tool. We need to use this tool, artificial intelligence. Second, get cities to adopt Milcities pilots on all continents. We need a pilot to prove these ideas. 3, deeply now the new UNESCO curriculum published in 2022 and applied this in the 13 Milcities indicators. Transcend and use the curriculum not only in the schools and the universities, but also in all the city. For example, in the health, in safety, in platforms, in digital platforms, we need to transcend the barriers to application Milcities or Mil approach, because at the moment Mil approach is known, of course, but in the space of schools, in the space of the universities, we need to bring this model or this approach, this framework to out and transcend and overcome the barriers. But it's very important to apply the indicators to existing metrics in studies and practice and creative new ones about this. Very important. For example, this book, read this book. We have in this book chapters of different authors, like Veronica Yarnick, for example. We have other books with the presence, like the author of the professor. The professor Emmanuel Komiko and other very important colleagues, very important and rich reflections, very important ideas. Five challenge: convince city mayors to do this. This and policymakers too. This point is very difficult, of course, but with activism, with with research, of course, and publications, we can do that. We need, of course, a very strong network, international network, and we'll be together, construct new opportunities with this network. Well, other point for me, very important, other challenge too, create events about Milcities around the world, and we, like researchers, like professors, like activists, we need to participate in these events. In the last Global Milk Week, we have 3 panels about Milcities. This result is very important results, and these results talk about the importance and the signification of Milcities from UNESCO. This point is very important. In these events, for example, the professor Emmanuel Komiko was present with very important ideas. And of course, my dear colleagues and friend, Professor Veronica Yarnick too, about Milcities. These works and other works talks about the importance, about the significance of the Milcities framework. But other point I would like to share with you: published books like this. We need published books, scientific articles, journals, and other kind of articles for the general people about Milcities. We need to format a networks about Milcities, and networks in our country, in our countries, in the continents, and around the world, international networks. Other point is to work in studies and practice about Milcities with link with the 2030 agenda. This point is very important too, because 2030 agenda is cited, is published in everywhere. Many people knows this framework, 2030 agenda, and apply this model. And finally, it's very important for me, transcending cultural barriers to communication in the application of the Milcities paradigm is necessary, this application, but with respect to diversities, with respect the identities of each country, and of course, respect to diversity of the neighborhoods in the cities, with respect of the vulnerable groups in the cities, and of course, with a new vision of the cities, with a vision, post-human vision of the city. Post-human is a new philosophical approach, and this approach talks about the human being, of course, the nature, second point, and the technology. These 3 points are the basis of the post-human vision of the cities. We need this vision to understanding the innovation, to understanding a new cities. We got at this moment a new reality, a new cities, and we need to understand these new realities with new actors, new performance, and a new reality with news, with new platforms, new enterprise, and new attitudes and new generations too. For this understanding is very important and very important. This the word very important. The Milcities or Milcities vision, Milcities approach. Well, that's my my final words, my consideration. Thank you so much. Please forgive me for my English. My English is not very good, but my ideas, my soul is better. Thank you so much, everybody.
Oh, thank you so much, Professor Felipe. Your English is very good than my English. So you don't have to mind. Don't mention. Thank you very much, Professor Felipe, for highlighting the main point of Milcity in 2023 and beyond. We need to focus on this objective. First of all, you have said that we need to deepen UNESCO curriculum and know how we can apply them to our countries, our institution. It is very important. The second idea you have highlighted is to integrate artificial intelligence in Milcity as a key objective. It is very important also. And you have highlighted many points on which I can't to return back, but we need to work together. We need to create, to mobilize youth, young teachers, researchers, mayors, and single citizens in our countries, in our villages, in our small cities. So together we can build this new approach for the society. And if I see the French-speaking countries, they are close to this idea because they don't read in English, they read only in French. So we need, as you have highlighted, to have many books translate in many languages so we can spread this idea, this project. So we need the help of UNESCO. Since 3 years, we are working with our limited effort, support, and now we are stuck. So you need the help of UNESCO, the support of UNESCO to go beyond this world. I am here. I am at your disposal as we here together. So UNESCO need to help us so we can go to develop this project in Africa, which is the second or the third continent in terms of the using of technology. So if we want to succeed this project, Africa must be mobilized. But we can't do it without money. We can't do it without the support, financial support from UNESCO. UNESCO needs to open to us, to open to Professor Felipe and Dr. Veronica, who are the co-leaders of this project. So I am the voice of those who come to talk. I am the ear of those who come to see. And I tell you, we need your support. You need, so you can advocacy at UNESCO that my city need money, fund to grow and to grow together. Thank you. This is my word. So, Dr. Yetunde, you have the floor. Dr. Veronica will speak, and Professor Felipe will close the door.
Okay,
All
my
right.
friend.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor. Thank you. I wish Professor Felipe could raise those books higher so that we could see them. We didn't see them too well when he was displaying them. You know, if you can just hold the books up so that we can see them. And I just want to thank, I want to thank Emmanuel so much for this opportunity. It's an opportunity that I have been looking forward to because I'm really interested in getting Milcities very popular in Nigeria. I am so interested in it. And I'm so happy that he has appealed for sponsorship. I was going to say that, I was going to ask him to, allow me, to solicit, for funds, especially, so that we can develop, a lot of materials, especially communication materials, to be able to get the concept of, meal and Milcities across, to the citizenry, whether they are young, they are old, whether they are students, whether they are, members of the community and all of that. And to do this, we need funds. We need funds. We need funds to gather other people on board. We need funds to train the students to participate. We need funds to train the citizenry to participate also. And then we also need funds to be able to develop materials, to write, researchable materials, to write books like others, to write different kind of materials, journals. I have a paper, for instance, that I discussed with Emmanuel before, about a 34-page material that I wrote about Milcities and sustainable development goals for 2030. I haven't been able to publish it because I didn't get sponsorship for it. So we need UNESCO to assist us. We need others. We can collaborate and reach out to other, international bodies as well who could actually, help us with it, because we're getting into the times and the climes where people need to know what to do with information. There's a lot of information flying around. We in Nigeria are preparing for elections in 2023. We have our Milcities project. Nigeria has its election coming up, and there's a lot of information flying about. Some people don't even know, what to do, to get information. So we need so much. So we'll be glad if we can really be supported. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Yetunde, for your contribution, your proposition. We act them, you write them down, and we work on them together with our colleague here, with Professor Felipe, with Dr. Veronica, and the whole staff to know how we can work together to develop a mild city in Africa and in Nigeria. We know that Nigeria is the heart of Africa. Is I can say is the locomotive of Africa. It is a melting pot. If we can develop mild city in Nigeria, the whole Africa will be touched. So we pray together that UNESCO and many donors can help us develop this project. Thank you so much for your contribution. Yeah, Dr. Veronica, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I would like to highlight three objects which Dr. Filippo already mentioned and already told. So the first, I would like to say that first of all, so of course we are planning next year to focus our activity on Africa, of course, because it's very important, and I think that Africa as a continent, one of the most potential and most proactive region or macro region continent in the world. The second, I would like to highlight the following, that next year we are planning to extend our expert network, and in this case we can also speak about the set of webinars, because there is one of the communication tool which we can use in different ways, and there is the platform for discussion and for sharing ideas. I think that webinar now in our absolutely changed reality, one of the most important, most interesting and most potential tool in communication. And in this case, I also I would like to underline that we have so many experts from Africa, from Latin America, from Europe, from Canada, from US, so on and so forth. So in this way, it's necessary to find the tool to gather all our experts in different ways. So maybe one of such communication tool could be the expert network, which we can use in researching projects, for example, also in sharing ideas, or maybe also during the discussion during our webinars. And the third thing which I would like to highlight, there is a very great idea about the common publishing of new book, maybe the set of articles, maybe some set of materials or something else. And it seems to me that it's a very good idea, and we can do the special issue, for example, with focusing on Africa and Latin America, maybe together in this way. So it seems to me that we can produce and we can find the opportunities to prepare such issue. It seems to me that it will be a very important thing. Thank you so much, because we are practically coming to our time.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Yarnick, for your idea. It is very important, and we write them down and we work on them. Thank you very much. It is very accurate, your idea, your proposition. I will not finish this meeting if I can't give the floor to Professor Felipe. But I will tell you that we have worked together since January 2022 till December. And it is my pleasure to work together with you, to share ideas with you, to organize webinar with you. And every time, Professor Felipe is here to support me, to encourage me to continue. And I would like to thank him for his head. He has a woman head. He has a hand to build. He is a coach. He is my mentor. Professor Felipe, may God bless you. Thank you for what you are doing for the world.
Thank you.
Thank you for your love for the women being development in all over the world. You have held many webinars this year, even though in Europe, in America, everywhere we see you. You are never tired. Where do you have your strength? Thank you very much for what you have done. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Dr. Veronica, thank you also. We have worked more than 3 or 4 times on topics, and your encouragement encouraged me to continue this work. And I would like to thank our staff also for everything we have done together this year to build this project. Thank you so much. Professor Felipe, you have the floor now. Thank you.
Good. It's really good. So I would like to say thank you, everybody, of course, for the presence, for the efforts, and for your compromise with us. I would like to say, of course, in special to Professor Emmanuel Komi-Konako, Professor Dr. Emmanuel Komi-Konako, for your presence too, for your partnership, and the opportunity to grow together. I thank you for your Professor Emmanuel Komi, for your compromise and your very important and very strong decision to do this project, to fight for this project, Milcity projects, of course. I would like to say thank you, of course, to of the professor, the dear friend and professor Veronica Yarnick, Professor Dr. Veronica Yarnick. Veronica Yarnick is a very strong and very important and very is a light for us with her ideas about Milcities. The professor Veronica Yarnick is with us with the beginning. She is the co-leader of the Milcities Go on Town initiative from UNESCO, and we together with Veronica are co-leaders of this initiative, and I am very proud to work, of course, with you, dear Veronica Yarnick, and very proud to work with the Professor Emmanuel Komi-Konako. Well, I can't finalize and with my words too, my grateful words to the Professor Yetunde. Is a Professor Yetunde, Professor Dr. Yetunde. It's a real pleasure to be here with you, of course. And finally, I would to say some highlights. If you very quickly, some highlights is very important for this group and other groups about Milcities. Focus in Africa, the African continent, and of course too in Latin American, Caribbean, and other points. But it's necessary to help Africa, because with Milcities approach, in my opinion, and for example with artificial intelligence, we can stimulate the economical development in Africa, and it is our compromise to do that. for many things, for many historical compromise for us. And this point is very important, and we can do that with knowledge. We can do that with research. We can do that, of course, with efforts together, and we need to create international networks about Milcities, national, regional, and international networks about Milcities, because without this, we can't do that. But that's my final contribution. Please read about Milcities. In the UNESCO Society have many informations. We have books about this, with, for example, with our dear colleagues present here. And we need, with this base, knowledge base, to expand the Milcities around the world. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much, everybody present. And is my opinion. We got in the next 20-23 years many challenges, but we got many opportunities too, and we can grow together. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Professor Felipe, for your highlighting and your final word. We want to thank everybody here, and I will thank especially Professor Moumouni-Agboké from Togo, who is always together with us. Thank you very much for your contribution, your partnership with us here. We know that the University of Lomé of Togo is together with us, and we will grow together this project in Togo also. Professor Felipe, thank you very much. Professor Dr. Yarnick, Veronica, thank you so much for your presence, your contribution, and special thank you, Dr. Yetunde from Nigeria. Finally, we see the Professor Moumouni. Do you have something to share with us before you leave here? Thank you.
Thank you also.
Okay. Yes, we are at the end of this session. We hope next year we'll be together, continue this great work for the world, for UNESCO, for our country. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Professor
Bye.
Moumouni,
Bye.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
You
Bye.
don't have your picture, Professor Moumouni. I need your picture. Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Happy New
Bye.
Year.
Bye.
Happy New Year. to
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Yeah,
Happy
may
New
God
Year.
give
Bye.
you, protect you every day, everywhere.
Amen.
This is my
Thank you.
word for you, my
Thank
love
you.
for you,
Thank you.
the love of God. Thank
I know that. I know that.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.